Hi everyone, and welcome to Sports Watch. If you like the content, please press the bell icon for further notifications and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. UFC 295 is in the books, and it was a record breaking night at MSG. UFC 295 was the second highest grossing event behind McGregor and Alvarez. It was also a night that belonged to Alex Poatan Pereira. It was here at MSG at UFC 285 that Alex Pereira became the middleweight champion of the world, beating Israel Adesanya. And tonight, once again at MSG, Alex Pereira became the light heavyweight champion of the world, defeating Jiri Prochazka. The only two-division Glory Kickboxing champion is now a two-division UFC champion, and the fact that he has become a two-division champion in just 11 fights in mixed martial arts is simply preposterous. It's probably the fastest that anyone has ever become a two-division champion. Alex Pereira just attained legendary status. With his achievements, he is in contention for being called the greatest combat sports athlete ever. No kickboxer has been able to achieve what he has, and that too in such a short amount of time. His story, his background, his appearance, his fighting, his enigma make him one of the greatest signings for the UFC ever. Alex Pereira versus Jiri Prochazka for the vacant light heavyweight title was a battle between two of the scariest dudes in the history of the sport. Jiri Prochazka is a samurai warrior, someone who follows the martial arts way of life to the core. He's an intense individual, someone who has been made for fighting. His opponent Alex Pereira is from the indigenous tribes of the Amazon and is a warrior in every sense of the word. The stare down between them was the most intense since Krokov versus Vanderlei Silva. A fight between these two warriors promised chaos and violence. But the difference between the two was power and precision. Both of them were knockout artists, but Alex Pereira literally has the hands of stone. And when he lands on his opponents, they usually fall. And Jiri, despite his awkward style, was very hittable. Glover Teixeira hurt him multiple times badly in their fight. But Pereira has the nuclear options in his hands, unlike Glover. Another huge weapon that Pereira has is the leg kicks. He compromised Adesanya's legs in both their fights with his kicks. And once again in this fight, he did damage Jiri's legs very early. A couple of hard leg kicks in the very first round already limited Jiri's movements. Jiri always puts his opponents on the back foot with his pressure, but Pereira's footwork was different from the other opponents he had fought. He circles to his left and spends very little time on his back foot. Being an aggressive fighter, he's usually on the front foot every time. In the first round, Jiri took Alex down in the later half of the round and landed some ground and pound. But it was also impressive how Alex Pereira defended himself on the ground despite being a very good stand-up fighter. In the second round, Alex became more fresh and he was looking to do damage with every shot. Jiri Prochazka was once again finding himself in awkward positions against a precise striker like Alex Pereira. You need to be very careful. He kept lunging in with shots And once again, those leg kicks compromised his movement. Other fighters who do not possess that one punch knockout power you can get away with lunging forward. But Jiri usually takes two shots to land one of his, and this time, when he came forward to push Pereira against the cage, he got caught by a combination. First a right hook to the side of his temple, and then a vicious left hook shot which dropped him. Yuri's recovery power is usually very good, and he hung on to Alex's legs, but those elbows from the top of his head to the side, continuous elbows, made him fall down, and Mark Goddard stopped the fight. Many say that it was a premature stoppage, and Yuri was right back up to his feet. Mark Goddard also stopped the Adesanya fight against Pereira, but in both those fights, Alex hurt his opponents pretty badly. And in this fight as well, even though there are lots of talks about the fight being stopped prematurely, Alex Pereira was on top of Giri. Another 2 or 3 shots would have meant that he would have put his lights out. And in the post-match interview, Jiri Prochazka did admit that he was indeed knocked out, but he was keeping on fighting. So Alex Pereira became the 2 division UFC champion. It was a great night, and once again he has called out Israel Adesanya to fight him at the 205 pounds. Adesanya, who has been taking a break, and he has said himself that he wants to return at 2027. Well, Alex Pereira is still waiting for him even after 4 fights with the man. In the co-main event, we had Sergei Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall for the interim heavyweight championship of the world. Once again, it was a fight between two knockout artists that has been put forward in 2.5 weeks after the Jones versus Stipe fight fell through. It was a fight that was never going the distance given the power that both of these guys had. Both Aspinall and Pavlovic were finishing their opponents in the first round itself, and it was pretty clear that whoever landed fast on the other pretty much will be the victor. But once again, as is evident in these short fights that take place in under 2 weeks preparation, that Sergei Pavlovich was not prepared for the speed of a Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is the fastest heavyweight. In the very first round, the fight which lasted for only 1.5 minutes, Sergei Pavlovich landed beautiful 1 and 2 combination. Aspinall took it on his chin and he rolled with it. The difference was he rolled with it, he had good head movement, and when he connected on Pavlovich, it was all game over. Sergei Pavlovich had no defense. Tom Aspinall became the new interim UFC heavyweight champion of the world. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and he would be a worthy successor to John Jones. Him versus Jones would be a good fight as well, because Tom Aspinall has great movement, he has decent wrestling, and is extremely fast with his hands. John Jones is the greatest martial artist ever, and if the Stipe fight somehow falls through yet again, then Jones versus Aspinall would be the great fight for the passing of the baton might, so as might say. UFC 295 was a great event, and the night belonged to Alex Pereira and Tom Aspinall. Let me know in the comment section what you feel, and if you like the content, please like, share and subscribe to the channel.